For more details on the virtual CES event this year, let's bring in Roger Cheng. He's head of CNET News. Roger, welcome to the show. Impressions of the virtual show. I think you were just attending virtually, it just wrapped up. How did it go?
It was weird. It was very different. I guess that's very much par for the course of over the last year. It's covering CES remotely. CNET, as you know, we spend a lot of time and resources covering these shows year after year, and just like in previous years, we were basically going all out, but everyone's doing it at home from their respective locations. So things are a little bit different. We definitely missed the element of actually being on the ground, being actually able to test out some of these products. So it's different, but we're adapting, just like the CTA is with CES 2021.
I mean, I guess if any event is going to really master the technological and logistical challenges at CES, but how does that affect? You talked a little bit about not being able to touch things, play with things, interact with things, and I guess obviously not interact with thousands of people attending. Is this something you liked, it was different, or is it something you'd wish to avoid in the future?
Yeah, I think the CTA, I think most people would agree that really the key ingredient of the experience of CES is really being on the ground, really checking out these products in hand, really talking to people face to face. There's really no way to replicate that. And one of the big losses right now is that we are seeing a bunch of products being announced. We're seeing a bunch of press conferences roll through, but essentially they're all video conferences. You're watching video presentations. They're all pre-produced. They look slick. But we have no real way of knowing if these products are any good, if they actually work, can actually handle hands-on testing. And likewise, as a reporter, I sort of make my bones, earn my money talking to people, getting sourced up, having conversations with people to get a sense of what the year looks like in the world of tech. And we can't really have these one-on-one conversations. We can't have these serendipitous encounters between people in the hallways, the water cooler talk that is often so valuable at CES. And so I know the CTA has tried to do things to emulate that or just to replicate that experience, having these kind of one-on-one virtual meetings. But really, you can't have these spontaneous encounters like you can during a normal CES. And that's a real missing ingredient.
There's no virtual water cooler. Roger, this is a 4-day event, I understand, and unlike other expos where you kind of walk around and see everything every day, I understand that this is unveiled day after day. What are some of the product highlights from Monday, and what are you looking forward to as this continues?
Yeah, some of the product highlights we saw, I think LG had one of the more notable product teases, one that it didn't even mention. It actually teased in a video a phone that rolls out. The display actually expands upwards, and the only information we got was the name and a brief glimpse of it. But I was able to confirm that this isn't a concept. This is actually a product that we will see later this year. It will come to market. Consumers will be able to buy it. So that was interesting. TVs are always huge at CES. It's traditionally known as a TV show. LG had, beyond the rollable phone, they had a transparent OLED display concept that one idea had it sort of at the frame of your bed, the foot of your bed, an transparent OLED screen will actually rise out of the back of your bed, and you'll be able to watch TV there. No price on that. Samsung had a micro LED TV. This is sort of the next generation of display technology. It's the tiny sum of $156,000 for a 100-inch TV. That'll get you a micro LED TV. And of course, there were a ton of products shown off that really addressed the coronavirus, the pandemic, right? We had portable air purifiers. We had robots that spread UV light around to sanitize. There were a lot of products, a lot of companies looking to, not take advantage, but necessarily address the needs that have been created by the pandemic.
There have been arguments for making CES virtual from now on. Are you seeing a push for this from major players, and your thoughts?
I think this is going to be a weird year, and it may end up being sort of a one-off. I don't know how vocal the folks who are making this, who are insisting that this be virtual full-time, really are. I know the CTA intends to make the virtual element of the show a permanent thing going forward, but I think for a lot of folks, the real value of CES isn't necessarily even the press conferences or the products. It's really being able to meet people face to face. Lots of deals get struck here, lots of agreements, lots of networking gets done here. That's, for a lot of folks, the real value, what really can't be replicated by going virtual.
So you've just finished, you're about to go write your headlines, I assume. What's really quickly your headline of the day?
I mean, the rollable surprise for me is a big thing. It's, we've seen foldable phones, which, the last 2 years is sort of seen as the kind of next step in the evolution of smartphones. I'm a mobile guy, so I'm a little biased towards phones and where phone innovation is coming. And the idea of a phone that kind of scrolls out, we saw another concept from TCL that it unfurls like a 17-inch tablet that unfurls like a treasure map. Really weird. I'm not entirely sure if it's practical, but that's kind of what CES is about, right? The new technology, innovations, they're shooting for the moon here on these different concepts. Whether or not they come to market, still up in the air, but at least it's interesting to look at and very interesting to talk about.
Roger Cheng from CNET News, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.